Hi, I'm Graham D'Amico. This is Travis Rettenmaier, and we're joined here today by Julio. And this is Tennis Sucks podcast. Julio, quickly, who's the oldest pro pickleball player that you know or that you can think of?
The oldest pro pickleball player that I can think of is Travis Rettenmaier.
Yeah, same.
I don't think
there's anyone older, actually.
There's actually several.
Oh.
Can go over them really quickly. Matt Wright, Lee Whitwell. Terrible joke.
Nobody.
Terrible joke.
You couldn't think of anyone else.
I got him.
I didn't ask you.
Next.
It's also the same answer to who is my favorite pro pickleball player.
Julie,
isn't
all
that
the
sweet?
love. What a
That's
sweetheart.
it. That's
Yep.
it.
I do like it. I mean, what can I say? I
So-
am desirable. Go ahead.
So, Julio, why are you here? Why? Tell us about yourself. Tell us
It's a very good
how we got you
question.
here.
I've been asking myself the same thing all day. I am a co-owner with you guys and a lovely couple out of Austin of the Florida Smash pickleball team in Major League Pickleball. This is the first time I've talked about that publicly, but now that
Notice we left
Don't
out
worry.
your last name.
We left out your last name.
Make sure people don't
there you
know.
And it's
go.
not because I don't know it.
even better, I was wondering.
I
like,
still
oh,
don't
wow.
know it.
And yeah, but the more I've kind of gotten into this weird little world of pickleball, the more of a convert I'm becoming. There's no doubt about it.
I've seen that. I've seen your enthusiasm grow rampantly since the first time we met.
He's addicted.
Yes.
How about when we were at Columbus? I think he played more than he watched matches.
I didn't get as much game time on the court as I wanted, to be honest.
Oh my gosh.
I asked him about that. He said it wasn't enough.
Guy played 15, 20
No,
games a
I
day.
didn't play that much, but I mean, it is an amazing spectator sport in person, which I'm not entirely sure that most people would believe me. As you know, I don't think a lot of people have watched it at a really high level. But I mean, you end up just, on your feet, screaming and
Immersed.
It's pretty exciting in person, I have to say.
And you knew nothing about pickleball before you made into Florida Smash.
So I've known Steve Kuhn for a long time, the guy who started this league. And at one point he invited me and a buddy down to South by Southwest, like this is probably 7 years ago. And he's like, come on down, you guys can stay with me. I'll get the whole, whatever the platinum pass is. We'll go to all the stuff. It'll be great. We're like, sure, what the heck? It's, cold in New York. I live in New York City. And I think we went to one South by event and we spent 4 days playing pickleball, like 6 hours a day. I'd never heard of this before. And, I don't think I picked up a paddle again for another 5 or 6 years, but I could see how passionate Steve was about it. And, fast forward a few years, it has completely, taken over his life and the lives of like dozens of other people I've met.
My life. Hundreds of thousands of people.
And millions of people.
Millions of people, really.
In the country. And it's just been really remarkable to kind of have a pretty good front row seat at the explosion in popularity that this weird little game with what I think is a ridiculous name has had.
Yeah, let's stop that for a second because we were talking about that earlier. Graham, he thinks the name is ridiculous. I think you can never replace it. It's pickleball. That's what it is. It's pickleball. If there was an alternative name, what is that name?
You asking me?
I am.
I've actually answered this question before, and I hate to say it because it sounds like I'm just promoting our team, but I think Smash Ball. I think Smash Ball is actually a decent name for the sport.
That was exactly my thought too. Totally independent.
Really?
But isn't there a Smash Ball already? It's like a dumb thing on
Spike ball.
That's
Oh,
spike ball.
Spike ball.
Dumb thing. Great. We just lost a bunch of fans. Appreciate that, Julio.
I don't even know what it's called. I just know it's on the Ocho
You just
every
know
once
it's
in a while.
dumb.
It's on the
It's on
Ocho.
the Ocho.
Yeah, Preston, shout out, buddy. You're really good at it.
And Austin Chikatalov actually played pro spike ball, believe it
Also
or not.
good.
Okay, so there is no Smash Ball yet. Is that what
I
you're
don't
saying?
think so.
I don't
Not
think
that
so.
I know
but
of.
maybe it's a decent name.
All right. I'm listening.
It would still all be pickleball.
Have
but
you
anyway.
checked out the pickleball scene or smash ball scene in New York City?
So I lived in downtown Manhattan.
You're giving away a lot of info here for someone that wants to be anonymous.
That's fine. And there's there's a pretty well-known big blacktop sort of recreational court on 6th Avenue in Houston, and I went by there on like a Tuesday morning, the day before I flew out to the MLP tournament in Columbus, the day of actually, and hadn't been there in a long time. There were 8 pickleball courts on this one blacktop that used to be, either roller hockey or there was some handball going on there. There was a basketball hoop. There's 8 pickleball courts on this really well-known, the only big blacktop surface I know in this area. And there on a Tuesday at 10 a.m. there were, 16 people out there playing pickleball, and it really was. I mean, it was just a testament to how the growth the sport is having, all over the country.
I know that New York pickleball has been in the news lately for, I think, taking over parks in the area, and the families are getting upset that there's too much pickleball and no room for, their kids and family to play anything else.
Yeah, the rats are getting crowded out now, so it's really, there's a lot of uproar. You hear things about that, I don't think it's that big an issue. All these places are still kind of first come, first serve as far as I know. So if the courts are taken by anyone, it's not like you can kick them off. I don't think there's some, the tennis is much more like a permitted kind of thing, but I think these other courts are kind of a free-for-all still.
Yeah, that's the issue. It's a free-for-all, and they're literally setting up lines and courts on what should be hopscotch, and parents are telling their kids to go run into the net, kick them over, and having battles at public parks, which, again, is happening everywhere. It's not just there or here.
Yeah. For instance, Julie, I don't know if you noticed, there's a fence that separates the tennis courts from the pickleball courts. Yep. The city put a chain on it so that we have to walk around to the other gate in order to access the tennis nets, because we've been using them. If you look right now behind us, 2 people using them for pickleball. Yes. And the 2 tennis players in St. Pete are getting upset about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I haven't seen those 2 in a long time.
Well, so I don't know if people are listening to this or not watching, but there's 2 full tennis courts behind us, and right now there's 2 people playing soccer tennis and 2 young kids playing pickleball on the tennis court, because on these the same size amount of blacktop that used to probably be 2 courts is now 6 courts, all full, and there's probably 50 people waiting to play on these 6 courts, and there's not a single tennis racket on the other courts.
Because tennis sucks.
Tennis sucks. Are you glad? Here's the real question. You're happy that you invested in pickleball?
I am for a number of reasons. I'm not quite a hater of tennis. I don't have the history that I know at least Travis has.
Graham has no history.
I have no history besides
just watch him play for a minute.
Tennis haters hating on me for playing pickleball. That's all I know about tennis.
My point is, I think Travis has a right to say tennis sucks, having played for his whole life. I saw a picture of him today as a 9-month-old with a racket, and he made it to the quarterfinals at
round 16 at the French.
The round of 16 at the French Open, which my level of tennis achievement is decidedly intramural. So I don't even have the right to say to hate on tennis, but it's you can't. I couldn't ask for a more perfect metaphor of what young people. Most of the people playing on this court are in their 20s and 30s. I'd say some of these guys look like they could be, professional basketball players or hockey players. These are some fit, ripped guys playing out here. Not you guys,
Scott.
Not you guys.
Not you, Scott. Sorry, buddy.
Just kidding.
Poor bastard gets ripped every show.
And my preconception of pickleball would have been it's exclusively for seniors who are kind of bored and they're playing outdoor and at the villages, and that's about it. But this is anything but.
Correct.
And we've got a mix of both. Don't be fooled. If you came out here in the morning, there's definitely a different demographic.
But it's shifting this
or
way
middle
more
of the day,
and more
but
constantly.
No question. Shout out to St. Pete too.
Yep. Fuck yeah! Shout out to St. Pete.
Oh yeah, it's my first time ever in St. Petersburg. Pretty cool. Travis is a terrible tour guide.
Yep.
We went to a nice outdoor cafe for lunch, and then we walked about 1/10 of the way toward what
I could tell you didn't want it.
What I assumed was a pier.
I didn't want it.
He's like, pier's over there somewhere. I'm like, what is there, a dollar museum? Oh, yeah, it's over there if you're into that sort of thing. I'm like, all right. right.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Hey, man, you know,
You mean
Who's
the
the guy?
$100 million pier that just got built in the last year that everyone travels to St. Pete to see?
That's more data than I got out of Travis.
Hey, man, I'll drive you by it, okay? It's lighting up right now.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. You want to go private beach? We can have a stroll together.
All right, Rowan. So tell the audience, what are we talking about tonight? What's hot in the news?
Well, I think we want to talk first about the NML stuff, Travis, and then secondly, obviously, everybody wants to hear about all this Vibe business going on right now. So, Travis, why don't you start NML and just kind of give a little background for people that don't know about the beef between you guys?
Okay, so I'll give a little preface here that these
And
guys...
Julia, do you know about this before he starts?
No, I forgot we were on camera too. I was just texting someone.
Oh, you're
Sorry.
good. You can text on camera.
Unbelievable.
Sorry. Whatever.
Come on, man. Leave the guy alone. He's got a lot of big shit going on. Okay? He had a meeting today with two guys at lunch. He had to tell somebody. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm
I had
in
a meeting with Rowan and Travis.
I'm in a meeting.
We're talking about some big shit, all right? So, anyway, back to it. Yeah, so NML guys kind of came out with a top 25 that I didn't like. I referenced that I thought it was done poorly without any research, which I still stand by. They don't do any research. And apparently what I hear is they're fed the only information they get. They don't do any due diligence on their own. But I do actually commend them for being involved in the sport. I like the fact that they like pickleball. I just wish they would do a better job reporting. So anyway, I kind of threw some shade back. Like, if you're going to do this, do it correctly.
You're still throwing shade.
I will continue to throw shade. And they fired back, saying that I was a poor player and JW carried me and I can't win a mixed match, which, again, I won more mixed matches in Newport Beach MLP than JW did. So I once again said uninformed, poor journalism. I'll beat these guys 2-on-1 for $100,000. And they, to my surprise, took the bet. So now we are in discussions of what format we are going to use. The event will be here, likely at Ferg's on the 17th of December. I'm putting up $100K of my own money. These guys are apparently going to be staked for the majority of it, which I think is ridiculous. Like, if you're going to play and it's going to be for $100,000, then put your own money in, have the balls to do it, stand by what you said. And we are having a little bit of a debate, and I would like your take on this, Graham. They are sticking by the fact that this should be a 3 out of 5 to 21 match. Now, I said I could beat them. I did not say I was a fucking marathon runner. And 3 out of 5 to 21, 25 minutes for an average game times 5 is 125 minutes. That's 2 hours and 5 minutes of running. That's a lot of fucking running. Okay, so I don't want to run that much. So we might not be able to come to terms on the format, and that's the one thing, at least for the moment, that's standing in our way.
So it is real, because that's what I get asked the most is this legit, or are they just blowing it up for publicity?
No, this is real. This is going to happen. We're going to put our money in an escrow account. Again, I would like to clarify whether they're using the majority of their own money. I would stake some of it out myself for friends because I want them to get rowdy. And I think Ferg's is the perfect spot for it because people will be drinking, people will be getting hammered. The community here in St. Pete will obviously come out to watch. And yeah, it's real. I'm not going to lie.
I think it's very real.
Where are these guys from?
These guys are from Canada. Two guys, I think they're rated as 5-0, Canadian 5-0, though, very different.
Yeah.
And
What's the exchange rate now between Canada and U.S. duper? Like 1.3 to 1?
I think that's about right. Like, you're a 5-0 here, you're like a 3-9 there.
Yeah.
I think it's similar to the U.S. dollar, Canadian dollar right now, actually, literally.
Yeah, and only spreading, so.
It's a Canadian 5.
Yeah, so, do you think that format is fair, though? Do you think 3 out of 5 is something that I should even consider? Or do you think that takes it too much into an endurance challenge, which is not the bet that I made?
I think you win it regardless.
I think I do, too, but it's not the point. Let's just say, in theory, that it goes to 5. That's a hell of a lot of running. I do not want to run that much.
What's their reasoning for wanting? Did they tell you because they want to wear you out? Or
They're saying bullshit. They're saying it's because if they're going to come all the way down here and make it an event, which they're not making it an event, I'm making it an event, we are making it an event, so it has nothing to do with them. But I think their real intention is that they know the only chance that they have is if I get tired.
Yeah, that sounds like a complete cop-out to me, knowing nothing else. If they're asking the singles guy to play a best of 5, and there are 2 guys playing doubles, they're going to be
heavily favored.
Yeah.
Well, it favors. I shouldn't say heavily favored, but that favors them. And we need to create a fair matchup where it's based on skill set. Yes, some endurance should be included because I'm playing singles, but not to that extent. That's substantial. Five games in singles, like.
So if they want an event, how about we do an undercard where Julio plays 2-on-1 against somebody?
Keep me out of this. Keep me out of this. But I think if you agree to 2 out of 3, that's totally fair.
Yeah.
3 out of 5 is just.
Well, what
they're
I wanted to
taking
do
the
is
piss.
3 out of 5 rally scoring games to 15, which I thought shortens the games. We do 10-minute intermission in between each game. That makes it fair and reasonable. They again said no to 21. Like, fuck, if you don't compromise a little bit here, then you're just being a bitch. You got to compromise a little bit. I'm not just giving in to what you want because you think it works. Now, I want 3 out of 5 too because I think more intermissions is good. You have more kind of entertainment.
You want 2 out of 3.
No, I think 3 out of 5 is good, but you just make the game shorter, and then you have entertainment in between each game, whether that's 2 celebrities playing against each other, or Ryan Sherry, for example, threw out that he would like to play JW or Julian Arnold for 10 grand on one of the games, like a quick game to 11 rally scoring. That would be cool as a little segue for games, and we can do stuff like that. But these guys need to give in a little bit.
But Julio, did you know about this bet before tonight?
No.
But
Would
Julio's
you
not
have
tied in.
interest in watching that or going to that now that you're hearing it? 100K, putting up 100K each for a 2-on-1.
I would for sure, and anyone in Florida in this area would be interested in watching that. No one's ever seen a $100,000 pickleball match.
Yeah, it's the fucking street ball pickleball. Nobody's putting up 100 grand.
Yeah.
And look, truth is, I was just talking trash, but the fact that 2 weeks later these guys came and obviously someone staked them, like, good on them. Let's go. Let's get it going. Like, if we're gonna do it, let's do it.
I like it. I'm excited. I'm nervous, but I'm
nervous
excited.
too, but let's play, baby. I bet you they're more nervous. They're gonna be shitting themselves.
That's for sure. All right, Rowan, anything else for tonight, or can we get Julio on the court here for a second time and see what he's
we got a battle.
Yeah, let's get Julio on the court. We'll see y'all next week. Thanks for listening as always.
I know my back's a little sore from carrying Travis last time, but
It's not your fault. You're playing with the oldest pickleball player that we know. It's not your fault, Julio.
He's pretty amazing to play with. Actually.
Thanks,
You
Julia.
don't have to do anything.
Graham never gives me any
Just
respect.
sit back there and just literally try to get out of the way. I think we lost 5 points, and I think I was responsible for 6 of those. So
Let me tell you, in Columbus, for the afternoon match, we won in the morning. I believe 4-0, and Graham's response to me was, "Are you going to play any better tonight? You couldn't play any worse, could you?" It's like, wow, what a great friend. Great guy, always supportive. Oh, by the way, you also have the worst ground strokes on the team. Man, my confidence is sky high. Thanks, buddy. Best friend here. Love ya.
Hey, good friends, shoot it to you straight.
Holy smokes. God, I can't wait to shoot it to you straight in a couple minutes.
All right, tennis sucks.
Tennis sucks. Hate it.